Let me make my picture a little bit bigger so you can see me better. Okay, hello. So today I thought I'd give you a short lesson since yesterday's lesson was a little bit longer. So I wanted to do a shorter one today. So we'll just start off by talking about and reading some things that were left over from yesterday. So I wrote this little story just to help you see how we can use the present tenses to talk about what we're doing and describe or talk about what is happening, to tell people in like a conversation or something. So it says, today is an important day. So this first sentence, today is an important day, is our present tense of to be, right? Today is an important day. It's not saying, what time is, when did it happen? Did it happen in the past? Is it still happening now? It's just saying today is an important day. It's the simple present tense, and you're using to be, right? You're using is, right? So it's saying just like, boom, here is information. Today is an important day. That is important to right now. I am picking up my mom from the airport. So I am picking up my mom. That one is our present progressive, right? I am picking up my mom from the airport. So this sentence, it could mean I am picking up my mom from the airport. That could mean that they are doing it, the person that's telling the story is doing it right now in the moment. Or it could mean that later in the day, but they are planning right now in the moment to pick up their mom from the airport. I am picking up my mom from the airport. They're planning on picking up their mom from the airport. So that's why you use the progressive, right? I take public transit, but today I rented a car. So we've got a couple things going on in this sentence. So it says, I take public transit. So this one is the simple present tense, right? So it is I take, right? It's the person that we're talking about and then just the simple present tense of the verb. When they say I take public transit, they're saying, okay, usually, normally, I take public transit, so I don't have a car. But today, I rented a car. Now, this one is past tense. We've learned this before, but it's not what we're really talking about. But you can use it, but today I rented a car to let people know. So usually this happens, but today I did something else, right, to help me get my mom from the airport to my house. She is visiting for 2 weeks. Now, you could think, who is she? What's she? Who's the she that we're talking about? In the story so far, we've talked about an I. We don't know if it's a girl or a boy. Now, if it was me telling the story, you could be like, oh, that's Allison. She's a she, right? But in this story so far, the only she that we've mentioned is my mom. So the she is the mom, right? So that you could say she or my mom is visiting, okay, for 2 weeks. She is visiting for 2 weeks. So it's this, we're using the progressive tense again, right? The present progressive. She is visiting for 2 weeks. So that means that it's continuous, right? She's going to be visiting for 2 weeks. She has taken care of me all of my life. So this sentence, she has taken care of me all of my life. So that one is the present perfect tense, right? Because we're talking about the past and how it is important to the present right now. And we're saying that she has taken care of me all of my life. So in the past, she took care of me to get me to right now, right? My mom took care of me to get me to right now. She has taken care of me all of my life. So that's why we use it, because you're talking about the past and how it's important to right now. It could go on but it doesn't really need to, right? That's why we use the present perfect tense. Now this one says, I have been working hard so I can take care of her. So I have been working hard. Now that's our present perfect progressive tense, right? So we're using the progressive to say that this happened in the past, right? I have been. So it's kind of like the present perfect, right? We are talking about the past by using the verb been, right? Which is the past of be. So I have been in the past to right now. And then we use working, which is continuous. I have been working. So in the past, I was working to right now. And I'm going to keep on working hard, right? So that's why we use it. So I have been working hard so I can take care of her. So now I kind of want to talk about ways that you can use it in talking to people if you want to use it. So usually when you see someone like a friend or a coworker or someone in the building, or you could see somebody at the store, a friend, it could be anybody. So you can say, you know how people can say, oh, how are you? How are you doing? That's something that people say, you know, hi, how are you? It's a greeting in English. You could also say, what have you been up to? What have you been up to? Or what have you been up to? Now these two sentences right here mean the same thing, because what if and what have are squished together. So what if just means what have. So you could say, what have you been up to? You're asking the question, what have you been up to? Hey, oh, it's been a long time. What have you been up to? So why people use that in English is because, remember when we use the present perfect progressive, we're asking, hey, what have you been doing in the past, but right now, and what are you going to keep on doing? It's basically asking, hey, what were you doing? What are you doing? And what are you going to do in the future? All in one question, all in one sentence. It's just saying, what have you been up to? You're talking about the past. They can tell you about the past. They could tell you about what they're doing right now. Like, oh, I'm just at the store, you know, shopping. Or you could say, oh, I've been working hard so I can get promoted at my job, or I've been studying to be a nurse. That's what you could say. So you can ask people this. If somebody asks you this question, you can talk about anything. You could be like, oh, I've been hanging out with my family. I've been working a lot. I've been, you know, studying for nursing school. I got my CNA permit. You could talk about anything. So that's why this is a really useful thing to say in English is, what have you been up to? Or what have you been up to? And if somebody asks you that, it's really easy to answer, because you could say, oh, I have been working a lot. Or you could just say, oh, I work a lot. You can answer them however you want to. You don't have to use the same verb tense. You don't have to, you can, but you're able to talk about the past, you talk about the present and the future. What you want to do in the future, what you're planning on doing, right? So that's why it's super useful. Another thing that people say, again, these two sentences mean the same thing. What's been happening in your life? Or what has been happening in your life? So this question, what's been happening in your life, is the progressive and the present perfect progressive, right? So we're saying, what's been happening in your life? You know, what have you been doing? Same with this one right here, right? So what's been happening in your life? They're just saying, what are some things that have been going on? What are some things that have been happening? What actions have been happening? That kind of thing. So now this next bit, I just took it from a newspaper, and I thought we could read it because it uses the present perfect tense and the present perfect progressive tense. So you can start reading it. I'll be right back. I can't really edit my videos to stop it, but I'll be right back. So just read this for a second. Okay. All right. I'm back. All right. So this says, since I took office in 1991, I've been working on making voting more accessible, and that includes mail-in ballots. Mail-in voting has been in the news, and I want people to know that in Salt Lake County, we've been doing this for a long time, and it works. And it said Salt Lake County Clerk Sherry Swenson. So I took this from a newspaper, and this is somebody that's talking about mail-in voting, right? So here, we're gonna fix this. Okay, so so I've been working, we've been doing. So you'll see that the way that it's used in English, since I took office in 1991, so she's saying, okay, this is in the past. Since I did this, since I started this in the past, I have been working, right? Because I've is just I have. Ooh, and it doesn't look super great, but there we go. I have been working means that when she says working, right, that's her verb. She's saying that she was working in the past, she worked in the past, she's still working now, and she's going to keep working. I've been working. I've been working on making voting more accessible, and that includes mail-in ballots. So ballots in English, it just means the things, it's like the papers that we write our vote on for the president, but also for like mayors and governors and city council people. So that's what mail-in ballots are. So mail-in ballots, mail-in voting has been in the news, and I want people to know that in Salt Lake County, we've been doing this for a long time. So they're saying, oh, we've been working on mail-in ballots, you know, because of COVID, they can't just have voting places open. They've been working, they've been doing mail-in ballots for a long time, saying we were doing it in the past to right now, we're still doing it, and we're gonna keep doing it, right? So the focus is on the action, that they've been doing it, that it's something that they've been working on. So that's some of the ways that people use it when they talk in English. So there's some more about it. So it's extremely important to me that people get out to vote. For all the years I've been doing this, super common in English. You'll hear people say, oh, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this. It was always about getting people to register, going to high schools, going to senior centers and other events, right? So look, we've got lots of verbs that have the ing on it, right? But the first one is I've been doing this. For all the years I've been doing this. So the reason that they say I've been doing this, for all the years I've been doing this, they're talking about the past, right? And how it's important to them right now because they're still doing it and they'll probably keep doing it, right? They don't know when it will end, but it's something that's important to them. So, and then this one, it was always about getting people to register. So this one's kind of confusing because they use was. It was always about getting people to, yes? Do you need your phone? Okay, I'm recording, please. Okay.
Are you gonna edit it out?
No. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. That was my boyfriend. Okay, so it was always about getting people to register, going to high schools, going to senior centers and other events. So this is saying, you know, it was always about. So you'll see how it's kind of going between two tenses, two times. For all the years I've been doing this, they're talking about the past, but they're using the present tense because they're still doing it. But they use it was always about, they use was, which is past, you know, why didn't they say it is? She's just saying, you know, in the past, the reason I did it was always about getting people to register, going to high schools, and these are all continuous verbs, right? Progressive verbs, verbs that are things that are mean right now in the moment, something that's happening right now, or something that is going to keep happening, right? So in the past, she was saying it was always about getting people to register, going to high schools, going to senior centers and other events. So they're just trying to say, you know, it was always about, you know, even though we did this in the past, it's important to right now, right? So that's one of the ways. So I just wanted to end the lesson because I know some of you are able to vote. So election day, this is also from the newspaper. Election it just means to vote, right? It just means, it's like selection, but it's election because it's not, you get to pick and then that person's it. It's not one person picking, it's lots of people doing it. So that's why we use election. So election day is, what is Tuesday? This means Tuesday. Tuesday. Sorry, I don't have a nice little drawing pad. So election day is Tuesday, and then Nov means November. So Tuesday, November. Ooh, that doesn't look like a good V. November. It's Tuesday, November 3rd. So that's when election day is. That's the last day that you can vote. That's the day when voting opens, and it's the day that, like, voting places that you can go in to vote to, and that's after that, they count everything up. So the voting schedule, oh look, voting, ing, the voting schedule is posted on this website and this website. Vote by mail ballots, meaning the ones that you just get in the mail, will be mailed, past tense, the week of October. That's what that stands for. It's the shortened way to write October. October 12th. If you haven't received yours by it's October again, October 20th, call the clerk's office at this phone number or email them at this email. So what it's saying is if you don't get something in the mail that says your voting ballot, if you don't, oh look, if you have not, meaning if you have not received, meaning if you did not get it, so you didn't get it a couple weeks before and right now you still don't have it by October 20th. So on that date, if you still didn't get it in the mail, you can call the clerk's office, which is this phone number, or email them. So they're saying on October 12th, that's when they're going to send them. They're going to mail them. And if you have not, meaning you did not get one by October 20th, you can call them and they'll help you figure out how you can vote. So, and I wanted to show you what the websites look like. So this is the website that you can go to, and it's slco.org, O-R-G, and then the little /CLERK/ELECTIONS, elections. And this is just to give you information. So you can click on stuff for general election information, check your voter registration. So this is able to see, okay, where does it say I live? So you can check and see if your address is right. Or it's to see, am I affiliated with a certain party, right? In America, we have, just like in other countries, there's parties, meaning groups of people that try and move certain things forward, certain ideas, or they want certain policies, certain rules to be written, certain laws. You can update your address, register to vote online. You can register online. You can do paper mail-in registration form. You can change your party affiliation. You can look at the candidates, and you can look at the dates. And you can also volunteer to be a poll worker. So this is all the stuff that you can do. Now, I know that some of you aren't able to vote, and that's okay. That's totally fine. You know what? That's great. You know what? You can someday, and if you don't want to be a citizen of the United States, that's okay too. It's just voting is a nice way or a good way to make things happen that you want to happen. But also, I wanted to talk to you about, like, if you are not able to vote in US elections, you can still participate. You can still do stuff if you want to. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. So one of the things that it suggests, this website, is to help get out the vote. So it means that you're talking to people like, oh, are you going to vote? Or have you voted? You don't have to ask people who they voted for, because sometimes people can think that's rude, or it's not really your other people's business to know. But you can be like, oh, have you voted? You can, if you know somebody that can vote and they're like, I don't know where to vote, I don't know what to do, you can give them, you know, this information. You can tell them where they can vote, the website they can go to, the phone numbers they can call, and that's how you can help. Now this says be a watchdog, go to hearings. So a watchdog is something we talk about in English when we say, oh, somebody who is like looking out. They're making sure stuff happens. And if something goes wrong or if something's weird, they say, oh, something weird is happening, like a watchdog, like a dog that is sitting outside and protecting something, right? They'll bark at something. So when they say be a watchdog, it just means be listening, be focused on what's happening in the community. And it says go to hearings. So hearings are council meetings. So you can go to council meetings where they talk about passing rules and laws and things like that. And you can tell the council people you know, I don't want this to happen. I do want this to happen. And then you can tell other people in your neighborhood, in your city, that something bad is happening. Like, I can't believe they're going to, you know, make us do this. We need to tell them that we don't want to. And you can tell them by voting, but you also can go in and actually tell them. And you don't have to be a US citizen. You can just be somebody that lives in the US. And you can tell them, and they will make rules because you're talking to them. And lots of people tell them, you know, yes, we want this, or no, we don't want this. Hold your own hearings. So a hearing, right, is just means it's a group of people that are getting together to talk about an issue. You can do that yourself with your neighbors. If there's something in your neighborhood, and this goes along with this, organize your block or building means you can organize your neighbors to be like, hey, what is it that we want to happen? What is it that we do not like about the rules? And you can start a group. And why that's good is because then you have a group that you can go to council meetings where they're making rules, and you can all say, you can have all these people say, we don't want this, right? You know, you can put petitions together, and petitions are those papers that you can sign that are saying, I'm one of all of these people that wants this rule to happen or to not happen. This one says learn the ropes. Now that's a phrase in English that just means learn what happens, like learn how to do this. So it's just important to be involved and understand how it happens, just so when bad things do happen, or if something happens that you don't like or are worried about, you know ways to fix it or ways to change it. So, and that's it for the lesson today.